Yo, what is going on, guys? This is your boy CJ Beasley here, back again. Today we have yet another battle video from the ICBA. This week we are taking on Root, the coach of the New Jersey Brobats. He has such a great team, such a good guy, honestly. Super nice, chill guy, so definitely go check him out. His link's going to be down in the description below, but I'm assuming you guys are coming over from his side anyways. But either way, definitely go check him out. All the coaches in this league's links are going to be down in the description below either way, but definitely go check him out. But like I said, he has a really good team consisting of Tapu Lele, Thundurus Incarnate, the Infernape, Ferrothorn, Mamoswine, Umbreon, Swampert, Alomola, Dredagon, Rotom, and the Tauros. So really scary team, like I said. The Tapu Lele really gives us problems, and he has really nice pivoting options. So with like U-turn and Volt Switch combination, so I'm definitely gonna have to watch out for that. But let's just hop right into things. So the first thing I brought was my Andrew McCutcheon, the Victini, with the Assault Vest, Victory Star, Blue Flare, Psychic, Charge Beam, and U-turn. With 156 special attack, 132 special defense, and 220 speed with a Timid Nature. This is my primary check to the Tapu Lele. Shadow Ball from max special attack, Modest Lele does 37.4% max, I believe was the calc. So I can take a turn of Stealth Rocks and then 2 Shadow Balls easily. And this also is EV to outspeed the Tapu Lele, if I'm not mistaken. So that's super nice. And Blue Flare does 2 a KO. And the reason for the rest of the moves, Psychic and Psychic Train, if we can get in the Psychic Train, is kind of spammable against him. Blue Flare plus Psychic is super spammable. And then Charge Beam is kind of like for the Alomola. Just so we don't kind of get stuck against it, where it wants to come in and just kind of take hits if it figures out I'm a special set. So I can Charge Beam, get my special attack higher, and Scald is doing minimal damage because I'm Assault Vested, so that's super nice. And the U-turn's obviously there for the pivot. So that's just kind of the set we're looking at. Like I said, it's my primary switch into the Tapu Lele. Next up, we got Reese Hoskins, the Darkrai with the Life Orb, Bad Dreams obviously, with the Dark Pulse, Focus Blast, Substitute, and Nasty Plot. With 108 HP, max special attack, and 148 speed with a Timid Nature. This outspeeds everything on his team. His fastest thing, I want to say, is the Infernape. Oh no. No, his fastest thing is the Thundurus, I believe, which is at 111. So this outspeeds the Thundurus. Dark Pulse plus Focus Blast really runs through his team at +2. And the substitute's just there so I can kind of make Umbreon and Alomola setup fodder. So that's just kind of the idea going behind that. But besides that, it's a pretty standard set. Just a sub Nasty Plot set with the Life Orb. And Life Orb, it's kind of confusing with the substitute. Like, you can kind of question it. But the substitute's not necessarily even going to go up unless if I'm in front of, expecting something to switch out late game or in front of the Alomola or the Umbreon. So that's just kind of the idea behind that. It's also my win con, my primary win con, as long as I can get webs up, and you'll see right here. We got the webs with the Galvantula, the Focus Sash, Compound Eyes with the Thunder, Volt Switch, Energy Ball, and Sticky Webs with 4 defense, max special attack, and max speed with a Timid Nature. This is just a speed tie with the Infernape, and I just went max special attack because I didn't really need the bulk for anything. Thunder plus Volt Switch is really good against pretty much his entire team outside of stuff like the Mamoswine, and obviously the Rotom can come in on it. But besides those two, nothing really wants to take a Thunder or a Volt Switch, so that's super nice. And the Sticky Webs obviously are there because the only things off the ground against on his team are going to be the Thundurus or the Rotom. So Sticky Webs are looking really good, especially because how fast this team is and how offensive it is. But yeah, it's a pretty basic Galvantula set this week. And next up, we got Aaron Nola, the Milotic with the Flame Orb, Marble Scale, Scald, HP Fire, Recover, and Toxic with 212 HP, 244 defense, and 52 special defense with a Calm Nature. This can switch in on stuff like the Mamoswine. It can switch in Life Orb Mamoswine in particular. It can switch in on stuff like the Infernape, physical or special. Obviously, it prefers a physical set, but it can take either or. It can also take hits from a Tapu Lele outside of Psychic Terrain, which is super nice, or even in Psychic Terrain, it can burn through the Psychic Terrain and stuff like that. So it's just kind of supposed to be an annoying set that just is just here to wear down the team, but I really need to play it properly for it to work. Scald pretty much does everything on his team, aside from the Ferrothorn, so I went with the HP Fire, obviously. And the Recover and Toxic are just super nice, like I said, to wear down his team. So next up, we got JT Real Mewtwo, the Aggron with the Aggronite, obviously, with Sturdy, Heavy Slam, Fire Blast, Toxic, and Stealth Rocks with max HP, 4 defense, and max special defense with a Sassy Nature. The reason I am Fire Blast instead of Fire Punch is obviously just for the Iron Barb's recoil. I really didn't want to take down necessarily. And, you know, like, the only thing a Ferrothorn can really do to an Aggron anyways is go for, like, a Bulldoze, which does minimal damage, or a Leech Seed, but, you know, like, Fire Blast is 3 KOing either way. So that is super nice. Toxic is there for, like, the Infernape, which can switch in on this, or the Mamoswine, which can switch in on this. So that's just kind of the idea behind that. And the Stealth Rocks, obviously, are pretty nice to wear down his team, especially the Thundurus. Once I can get that gone, behind Sticky Webs, my Darkrai just kind of puts in work, so that's super nice. But besides that, the Heavy Slam obviously hits pretty much most of his team, I guess. And we went max special defense this week, just to take hits from Lele and Thundurus and stuff like that. So, and finally we have Jake Arrieta, the Florges, with the Leftovers, Flower Veil, Moonblast, Defog, Protect, and Wish, with 236 HP. 4 defense and 76 special attack with the 172 special defense and 20 speed. So this actually speed creeps a Mamoswine, a max speed Mamoswine after Sticky Webs, which is super nice. I believe that's what it was. And this is my primary switch in to the Thundurus, or I guess not switch in, but it checks the, well, I guess switch in. But it checks the Thundurus decently well. Moonblast is always the 2-hit KO, unless if he's super like bulky, which I don't expect him to be. And a +2 Flash Cannon or Sludge Wave, I believe we get Sludge Wave, doesn't ever OHKO us, so that's super nice. And Wish Protect obviously just kind of helps for the rest of the team, just kind of keeping it healthy. So, and obviously the Defog's there just to get rid of hazards, as Stealth Rocks really do a number to my team this week. So I really don't want to, I really want to get rid of those as soon as possible and keep those off the field. So, anyways, guys, I'm just gonna hop right into things. I feel pretty good about our matchup. Just kind of make sure that Infernape doesn't run through my team. So that's just kind of the game plan going into this. So anyways, guys, we'll head into the battle video right now. Alright, guys, so we're back. So looking at the team he brought the Infernape, Tapu Lele, Alomomola, Thundurus, Umbreon, and Mamoswine. So nothing too surprising, I would say. In terms of leads, he probably expects either the Galvantula or the Mega Aggron to lead. So I decided to lead my Milotic, as it does really pair against either the Mamoswine or the Infernape, which would be the best two like counter leads to those two I mentioned. So I will lead the Milotic here, and we'll just see what happens. So good luck to my opponent. Like I said earlier, definitely go check him out down in the description below. So here he actually does just lead his Infernape, as I do lead my Milotic. So we are in really good position right off the bat. And I know right here I can throw off a pretty free Toxic, I believe is what I do. Or I go for Scald, actually, I believe. Let's see. But he just goes for the U-turn. And based off that damage, I know he's either Muscle Band or Adamant. And he goes into Tapu Lele, as I do believe I just throw off a Scald. I didn't want him to be Grassy MZ, so I just throw off the Scald here. Yep. It does a nice 25-ish percent, 20-ish percent, as I know I can go pretty freely into my Victini, and I will get my Flame Orb up at this point. So like I said, I will just go into my Victini, sponge any hit he wants to go for, as he does just go for the Moonblast, so not too worried about that. And it does about 25-ish percent off the critical hit, which is pretty crazy. So here I just will go for the Charge Beam. I should have gone for the U-turn, but I thought Charge Beam was going to be a little bit better instead, in case he wanted to start, what am I trying to say? In case he wanted to go into Alomomola, which he never went to the Alomomola, so I don't know why I went for Charge Beam. Should have definitely gone for the U-turn. But it doesn't really matter, because here I will go for the U-turn. And I will go out into my Darkrai, as I know it is setup fodder for my Darkrai. So, I will just go on my Darkrai. Hopefully I can toss off a Focus Blast. But here he actually is packing the Baton Pass, which is super good play on his part. Which is like, honestly, is super good play. Super good bring. As he will go on to his Infernape. So at this point, he knows he can live a hit. I wasn't really expecting Scarf at this point because like I couldn't KO him with anything anyways, so I didn't like necessarily think he was Scarf. As he does just go for the U-turn. As I go back into my Milotic and can eat that hit pretty easily. But he will just go out into his Thundurus. And at this point, I'm just kind of getting, I'm just kind of getting irritated with this game. I should have definitely U-turned instead of Charge Beaming right off the bat because I would have been able to go into my Darkrai and substituted. But here I will just switch out my Milotic into the Florges, and he actually goes for knockoff. So we know he's either physical or mixed at least. And then knockoff is pretty annoying because it does get rid of my leftovers, but it's not the end of the world. So here I can throw off a pretty free Wish. I thought about going for a Moonblast, but I decided Wish was a little bit better. As I did expect him to go into something like them for an Ape. So I will just go into my Victini at this point, as I know I can just eat whatever he goes for, and there's no way he was going for an Earthquake there. I mean, I guess he could have gone for an Earthquake, but Flare Blitz was definitely a better play for him. So you will go for the Flare Blitz. We will be able to eat that. He does take a little bit of recoil, and we do get pretty much all of our HP back. And so here I will just go for the slow U-turn. I could live an Earthquake if you went for it, so it wasn't too big of a deal. As he does just go for a Flare Blitz again. So at this point, I'm kind of... I don't know if he didn't have the Earthquake or if he, I don't know. I didn't know exactly what the idea behind that. I don't know why, but it didn't really send off Scarf alarms in my head yet. But here I will just go back at my Milotic, as it is a pretty free recover at this point. As he does switch out his Fernape back into the Thundurus. So we're just kind of in the cycle. And with him having Volt Switch, I'm assuming on this, and the U-turn, it's just kind of a pain, especially with the Baton Pass. But we will just throw up a recover here, take a little bit of burn. And at this point, I pretty much expect him to either U-turn or Volt Switch. So I do go on to my Aggron, as he does just go for the Wild Charge, which was pretty surprising. But I know at this point it's a pretty free Toxic, as Toxic hits everything on his team. Nothing really wants to take it, so I will just throw off a Toxic at this point. Should have tossed off the rocks, but it is what it is. As he will just go out and choose a Mamoswine. So I will get a pretty nice Toxic off on this Mamoswine at this point. So there's the Toxic. And so here I kind of make not the smartest play in the world. I go back hard into my my Milotic, as I didn't really have any. I guess I didn't really have any other switch-ins. And so here he will just go for the Earthquake, and based off this Earthquake damage, it's kind of hard to tell what item he is, because that's almost Life Orb damage, but he wasn't Life Orb, so I was kind of confused what item he was. I was like suspecting maybe just like Adamant and got like a really high roll or something. I don't know. But he will just throw off his Stealth Rex at this point, as I do just go for the recover. And next turn I can throw off a pretty free Scald, as nothing really wants to take outside of Alamula, but then I can Toxic that thing anyways. So Scald's pretty free at this point. And so he will just go out into his Tapu Lele, I believe. He goes, oh, that's the Umbreon. So he goes out into the Umbreon. Not too big of a deal, as I will just go for a Scald, try to maybe burn this thing or something. Do get the burn, or actually, excuse me, I didn't want the burn. Burn was worst case scenario, because I'd rather Toxic this thing to, like scare it a little bit more than to stay in on me. But we will get the burn, it's whatever, as he does get a little bit of leftovers, but it nullifies because of burn. And here I will just go out into my Darkrai yet again, as I don't think there's any way he tosses off a Baton Pass again, but he does. I definitely expected the Wish, but it is what it is. So he goes for Baton Pass, makes another great play, as he will just go back out into his Infernape. And at this point, I'm just kind of getting annoyed at this game, like just in general. It's not his fault, like whatsoever, but just like how much pivot he has, and I really like my team building couldn't really get behind pivot, like outpace the pivot that he had, because he could pretty much just spam U-turn and Volt Switch at this point. And so it is what it is, though. So he will just go for the U-turn, go back out into his Thundurus, and we're just kind of back in the cycle. As here, I believe I go into my Florges. Yeah, what is that? Oh, that's my Galvantula. So here I expected like maybe like a Wild Charge or something. But he goes for the U-turn, which is a smart play on his part. There's nothing really I could do about it. But I just kind of want to get off the Sticky Web. But he actually goes into the Fernape. So I guess he's wanted to risk the Speed Tie. Like again, like the alarms that should have been going off in my head for him being Scarfed just weren't at this point, unfortunately. But I just go out into my Mega Aggron, as I do expect like the U-turn. I don't expect him to want to just click a raw Flare Blitz, as U-turn was pretty free and it always KO'd me anyways. So I go out into my Aggron, as he does just go out into his Mamoswine. And so at this point, I'm pretty confident I can live this. Actually, like, according to my calcs, I couldn't live this, so I was actually stacking my Mega Aggron, but I went for this, the Stealth Rocks here, or maybe I went for the Heavy Slam. But he actually KOs me, which wasn't like unsurprising, but after the fact, I realized I wasn't calculating with Filter, and I should have lived that hit, and he told me he was Earth Plate, and like, most of the time I would have lived that hit. I believe there was like 2 or 3 rolls that like actually KO'd me, so that was pretty unfortunate, but like honestly, I was just trying to sack it off anyways. But here, I'm just gonna go into my my Darkrai, as he does go on to his Infernape, so I will throw up a Substitute. And here, I just go for the Nasty Plot, because I expected him to want to U-turn out into his Tapu Lele, is kind of what I was expecting. And he does reveal a Scarfed, and I kind of just realized that too late. But he does just go for the Flare Blitz, as I go for the Nasty Plot, which was a waste of time, because here he will KO me with the Flare Blitz if I stay in anyways, so... and we do not want that, so I do switch out into my... I want to say my Tapu Lele at this point, and I'm pretty sure he reads it here. Or excuse me, I go on to my Milotic. Yeah, I go into my Milotic, and he reads me properly and goes out into his Tapu Lele. And so at this point, I'm just kind of like looking at the end game and seeing if there's anything I can do, and I just know I have to get up Sticky Webs, and I kind of just have to hopefully like just run through his team with the Darkrai, and just hopefully I can do that. But it's not looking too good for me at this point. So at this point, I'm just kind of in my mind just kind of thinking how I can save differential. So here I go for the U-turn, and he actually stays in, which was super annoying for me, as I did expect him to want to switch out, but you know, like, good play on his part. And I will just go on to my Florges at this point, basically sacking it off, as he does just go for the Side Shock, and I don't think there's any way I could live this. Nope. So here his Tapu Lele gets a KO, and like I said, I'm pretty much just trying to set up my end game to where the Darkrai can win, or at least like, you know, bring down the differential. So here I will just toss off a Sticky Web just to slow down his team, and he does just go for the Side Shock and KOs my Galvantula, which is fine. And so here I believe I go back onto my Victini, because at this point I was assuming he was offensive Assault Vest Tapu Lele, so I needed more chip than he was like the range he was in. But based off that damage, he actually wasn't Assault Vested. He was just like max HP or something like that, which I believe actually was the set. But he will KO me with the Side Shock, as I do get a nice chunk off of the Blue Flare. And at this point, I can go into my Darkrai, but it's kind of an unfortunate case scenario where I can't set up in front of this, so I have to go for the Dark Pulse and take some Life Orb recoil. And he actually just goes out into his Umbreon. So I guess just trying to preserve differential. And I will just go for the Dark Pulse here, like I said. And I know most of the time a Focus Blast should KO him. I believe maybe all the time a Focus Blast KOs him from this range. Yeah, so I'm just gonna go for the Focus Blast, and we pick off the Umbreon at this point, and I'm kind of just like hoping I can like dent his team enough, but he actually goes out into his Thundurus, and I know I can't KO this anyways unless if I get a crit, so I was kind of praying for the crit at this point. And he actually reveals that he's double Scarf. So he has Scarf Infernape and Scarf Thundurus, which was like great brings on his part. Like honestly, he prepared way better than I did for this game. So props to him, like honestly. But at this point, he will KO my my Lodic and my Darkrai. So we will lose this 5-0. An embarrassing loss to say the least. But you know, what can you do about it? I guess you can play better next time. So great game to my opponent. Like I said, he prepped way better than I did. I definitely deserved to lose this. I played very, very poorly, I feel. So anyways, guys, hopefully we can get better next week. We do play Matt Oshia. I believe that's how you say it. I hope I didn't butcher that. But we do play him next week, and he is, I believe, 3-0 at this point. So we definitely will have to put in our best prep work. So hope you guys are excited for that. But anyways, guys, I'm heading out at this point, and I will see you guys next time. Peace.